Ever walk away from a toxic encounter and tell yourself, next time I'll handle that differently? What if I told you that you won't? You won't handle it differently because you won't handle it at all. You know the person that toxic people don't try to game, that toxic people avoid, that toxic people fear. That's you about 10 minutes from now. Because I'm going to teach you 8 behaviors that make toxic people avoid you the way people avoid them. Each one builds on the next, and the last one, it's not a behavior, it's a complete identity shift. The one toxic people feel without you ever opening your mouth. Learn them, use them, and next time, you won't walk away from a toxic encounter thinking anything, because you won't have the encounter at all. Here's the thing nobody talks about. Toxic people don't pick targets randomly. They run a quiet assessment on everyone around them, who flinches, who explains themselves, who needs to be liked. And the moment you give them a reaction, you just passed their audition. You didn't start an argument. You became a resource. That's not a bad day. That's a classification. And once they've classified you, they come back. Think about the last person who drained you. They didn't announce themselves. They didn't show up with a warning label. They showed up charming, maybe even helpful. And somewhere between the first conversation and the third, you started feeling smaller every time you left the room. Your gut was screaming. Your brain was still making excuses. That gap between what your gut knew and what your brain accepted. That's where toxic people live. The 8 behaviors we're covering today close that gap permanently, starting with the most underestimated weapon you already have. Behavior 1. Stay kind under pressure. Before you roll your eyes, this isn't about being nice. When a toxic person takes a shot at you and you stay genuinely composed, you deny them their evidence. They came for instability. They need you defensive, loud, visibly rattled. Your calm doesn't just protect you, it exposes them. Because when you're steady and they're escalating, every person watching the room knows exactly who's in control. But calm only protects the surface. The next behavior goes deeper. It cuts off the fuel line they've been running on since day 1. Behavior 2. Genuinely forget their words. Not pretend to forget. Actually forget. Toxic people plant seeds, a throwaway insult, a dig dressed up as a joke, and they count on those seeds growing in your head long after the conversation ends. When you stop filing their words away, their investment disappears. They bring it up again a week later, probing for the wound. You look at them with genuine confusion, because it's gone, deleted. You were too busy thinking about things that actually matter. That's not an act. That's inaccessibility, and it rattles them at a level they can't articulate. Now they can't plant new seeds. But behavior 3 handles the ones that already took root. Behavior 3. Don't react emotionally. Every toxic person is fishing. The passive-aggressive comment, the compliment with teeth in it, the question designed to make you explain yourself, these are bait. They're not waiting for a debate. They're waiting for the flinch. Face changing, tone shifting, jaw tightening. That's the tug on the line they came for. When you go completely neutral, calm voice, flat expression, zero justification, you become a door they knocked on that no longer opens. No reaction, no fuel. But a smart toxic person doesn't quit after one try. They escalate. Behavior 4 is how you handle that. Behavior 4. See the game and don't play. There's a level above not reacting. It's watching the play unfold in real time. The guilt trip, the gaslighting, the pity spiral, and letting them finish without moving a muscle. You don't call it out. You don't explain that you see it. You just observe. A neutral look, a slow nod, nothing more. When toxic people sense you can see the blueprint, something shifts. It's not that you lock the door. It's that they can see you standing behind it, watching them try their keys. They feel seen, exposed, deeply uncomfortable. And they start wondering how long you've been able to see it. We're 4 behaviors in, and if you've been paying attention, you've noticed something already starting to shift. Not in them, in you. You're not reacting. You're not defending. You're watching. That's not the posture of someone who's afraid of a toxic encounter. That's the posture of someone who stopped having them. But 4 behaviors is still just the outer wall. These protect you in the moment. What comes next makes the protection permanent. And behavior 8, the identity shift I promised at the top, is almost here. 2 more layers, then we get there. Behavior 5, use silence as a mirror. When someone says something toxic and you go completely still, not cold, not hostile, just present and quiet, their words have nowhere to go. The weight falls directly back on them. They said it. You heard it. It's sitting in the air between you now, undeniable and heavy. They can't take it back, can't explain it away. With nothing coming back at them, they have to sit inside what they just said. Let them. That discomfort is not your problem to solve. Silence starves the moment. But behavior 6, it shuts the door on the whole relationship, permanently, without drama, and in a way they never see coming. Behavior 6, forgive but don't return. This is the one that short-circuits them completely. You're not bitter, you're not cold, you don't bring it up. But the door is closed. They expect 2 options, your anger or your forgiveness on their terms. You give them neither. You gave someone access. They burned it. You don't punish them. You just don't reissue the key. That quiet, undramatic, permanent withdrawal of access is more devastating than any confrontation could ever be. Confrontation they can work with. They can twist it, weaponize it, play victim. Calm finality, they have nothing to grab onto. But closing the door only matters if the walls hold. Behavior 7 is what makes it permanent. Behavior 7, set and enforce boundaries. The distinction is everything. Most people set them. Almost nobody enforces them. And a boundary without a consequence isn't a boundary. It's a suggestion. The moment you set one and fold, you don't just lose that round. You teach them your words are negotiable permanently. When you enforce your boundaries, calmly, without re-explaining, without drama, you become unpredictable in a way they can't strategize around. They stop testing because they already know the outcome. That's not rigidity. That's quiet authority. And quiet authority isn't something you announce. It's something people feel the moment you walk in the room. 7 out of 8 behaviors. Look at what you've built. You're not learning how to handle toxic people differently. You've become someone they can't handle at all. That's the shift. And it means you're ready for behavior 8. Visibly improve after they leave. Toxic people have one final insurance policy. When they exit, they bet on your collapse. They count on the spiral, the regression, the I miss them, the quiet stall. Their entire identity was built on being necessary to you. It's what they fall back on when everything else fails. The reason they think they can always return? Cancel it. Get better. Actually, genuinely, visibly better. Sleep better. Move differently. Build something you're proud of. And let them see it. Not by posting about it, not by performing it, just by living it loudly enough that it reaches them. They'll hear through someone. They'll catch a glimpse. And what they'll see is someone who is not just surviving without them. Someone who is better without them. That's when the whole story they told themselves falls apart. They weren't the main character. They were the weight, and you put it down. That's not a behavior anymore. That's proof that you were never the problem, delivered in complete silence without a single confrontation, and the most devastating thing you will ever do to someone who spent years convinced they were running you. 8 behaviors, stack them. Because that person, toxic people don't try, don't test, don't even think about gaming. They're not a personality type. They're an architecture. And you just built it. Stop playing the game. Be the person the game was never designed for. If this helped you become untouchable, subscribe. We publish fresh content weekly to help you win at life. And here's something to help you identify toxic people fast. Watch 5 questions liars always ask. It's on the screen. If you want to level up mentally and make sure these behaviors stick, check out the Neuro Energizer. It's a mind-strengthening tool based on neuroscience. There's a link in the description. And it's got a money-back guarantee, so you've got nothing to lose. Now go out and be the person nobody sees coming.